On October 7th, 2025, Officer Grant Victorious of the North Richland Hills Police Department noticed a Texas driver named Travis traveling down a busy highway near the 7200 block of Northeast Loop 820. Officer Victorious followed Travis for several minutes before eventually initiating a traffic stop based on his alleged observation of Travis crossing a solid white line on the roadway. The interaction that followed was captured on both officer dashcam and body-worn camera.
Name and badge number.
North Police Department, Officer Victorious, you got your driver's license on you?
Name and badge number?
You have your driver's license on you? Victorious 936. Reason for the stop, you disregarded a traffic control device there. Cross solid white lines. You have a driver's license on you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Any weapons in the car?
No.
Okay.
You've been in North Richland Hills?
The offense he committed was in North Richland Hills.
Oh, what's it? Yeah. Is it on Dash Street? You recorded?
Yeah, all recorded.
Excellent.
Yep. It's all recorded.
Body camera on?
Yep, sure is.
Why is the red light on?
See the little recording button? That means it's on.
Excellent. And you realize you had your brights on in my eyeball.
Okay.
Just scratch that cornea. That's right. So your brights into my eyeball, posing a hazard.
Anything illegal in the
after
car
I
that you know
asked
about?
you,
No? Okay.
after I asked you, and you
All right, same
said
vehicle.
you would. Yes, sir.
You need to record.
I know. Cool. And what was your badge number again?
936.
936. And you claim this infraction occurred in North Richland Hills, but you waited until outside North Richland Hills to pull me over?
The infraction occurred in North Richland Hills.
So why didn't you pull me over in North Richland Hills?
When it occurred, I pulled you over.
I was driving straight.
We're not going to argue it out here. I got your video camera crossing solid white
Put out
lines.
my license.
Not right now. You're detained. You're not free to go.
I'm detained?
You're not free to go.
Okay. What's your reasonable articulate suspicion of an actual crime, not a traffic violation?
Northwest 333, negative good.
You're detaining me, right? Or am I free to go?
Simple, thank you. You're not free to go.
No.
So you're in a traffic stop right now?
I'm detained?
Correct.
Right.
You're not free to go.
Okay.
So if you leave, it's going to be a charge. Okay.
That's detainment.
You see the traffic stop? You are not free to go.
Detaining is for an arrest. A probable cause you would need for detainment.
So disregarding the traffic control device?
Yes, so,
okay.
Yeah, that's just...
Okay.
Make sure we're on the same page. And
You're not free to leave.
The difference between the
You're not free to leave.
detainment and a traffic stop.
Okay. You are not free to leave.
There you go.
Can make that clear? Cool. Thank you. Please don't leave. I don't want to charge you with evading.
Why
we
would
agree
I
on
leave?
that?
I have nothing to run from.
Alright, cool. No weapons in the car?
Nope.
Okay. Nothing illegal in the car to know about?
I don't know how to answer any more questions, but go ahead.
Or if you don't want to answer,
take it?
if you don't want to answer questions, that's fine.
Are you drawing my ticket or?
I'm waiting for dispatch to come back with your return.
So you have 20 minutes.
Okay.
Sometime it's up.
Whoa. Sounds good. We can sit here and stare at each other for 20 minutes if you like.
Did it upset you that I asked you to turn your lights off?
I turned them off for you.
I
turned them on for you. I did. I did.
And then I go back around and ask, well,
Correct. You're up.
And then I pull back up and bam, right there they are again.
You might give me your right hand on the steering wheel, please. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Whatever makes you feel safe.
I appreciate that.
dispatch that does what?
I'm just waiting for dispatch right now to come back with your return.
With my return?
Yeah, I gotta run your driver's license, make sure it's valid.
Yeah, you do that in your computer system.
Well, I gotta go to dispatch. I'm not here with you.
Check my license, come back to the vehicle.
Okay.
Legally, I hand over my license.
Sorry?
Legally, I don't have to hand you my license.
Well, if you wanted to go down that route, that'd have been a different ballgame. So I appreciate you handing me your license.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have my name, you have my address, you have my license plate, so you can have my license back.
No. So you committed a violation. Okay.
So you claim.
So you're not free to go. Okay. And that's where we are right now.
Allegedly. Anyway.
Hey, innocence of proven guilty, right? So
Yep.
that's where we're at.
So, yeah.
That's where we're at.
A little bit of a retaliatory stop, but, you know.
Okay.
You literally followed me.
What
After
says
blinding me
what says
twice.
what? Okay. However you want to put that. Okay.
Followed me every which way. Why was that?
I can patrol anywhere in the city.
Oh, absolutely. You're at about 10 minutes.
Awesome. Right on time. North Hill Street here, 3 PLC. Can I get a AA one time to my location, please? You probably need more like 7,900. 1015. 1015. Step out. Sorry. Step out.
And badge number 7.
Alright, turn around. Put your phone turn around. Turn around. You drop it in there. Everything is recorded. You are under arrest. Disregarding traffic control device.
Officer Victorious and Officer Burks placed Travis under arrest for allegedly, quote-unquote, disregarding a traffic control device in violation of Section 544.004 of the Texas Transportation Code. Contrary to popular belief, most offenses, regardless of how trivial or victimless they may be, still authorize officers to make an arrest, particularly when the offense is committed in their presence. Section 543.001 of the Transportation Code expressly authorizes an officer to make a warrantless arrest when a citizen is found committing a violation of Subtitle C. Now, since Section 544.004 is part of Subtitle C, the Transportation Code itself gives an officer the statutory authority to arrest for that violation when it is committed in the officer's presence. Furthermore, in the 2001 case of Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, the Supreme Court held that the Fourth Amendment does not forbid a warrantless custodial arrest for a minor criminal offense punishable only by a fine so long as there is probable cause. In addition, Section 543.004 of the Transportation Code makes issuance of a written notice to appear mandatory for a limited set of specified offenses, and it also clarifies those are the only offenses for which issuance is mandatory. Disregarding a traffic control device under Section 544.004 is not one of the offenses listed in Section 543.004, which means the Transportation Code does not force a written notice to appear for this particular charge in the same way that it does for offenses like speeding. Therefore, it is likely that a court would view Travis's arrest as technically lawful. However, that does not mean that every custodial arrest for a minor traffic violation is consistent with the spirit of how Texas law expects these encounters to be handled. Chapter 543 lays out a clear notice to appear framework that is designed to resolve routine traffic misdemeanors through a written notice and a release from custody rather than a full booking process. When an officer arrests a citizen for a misdemeanor traffic violation and does not take the citizen before a magistrate, then Section 543.003 requires the officer to issue a written notice to appear. The point of a legal framework involving a cite and release format is to avoid unnecessary arrests for minor violations. Additionally, Section 311.17 of the North Richland Hills Police Department's General Orders outlines the protocol for arrests involving Class C misdemeanor charges. Now, while this policy does acknowledge an officer's discretionary authority to make an arrest based on such a low-level crime, it also highly discourages arresting citizens based on Class C misdemeanors, and states that, now quoting, officers are encouraged to issue a citation in lieu of arrest in all situations where no greater investigatory or legal objective exists. Here, there does not appear to be any greater so-called investigatory or legal objective that influenced Officer Victorious's decision to arrest Travis, and there is a strong argument to be made that the arrest did not comply with the intent of the department policy, if nothing else. Before we continue the interaction, I want to give a big thanks to the sponsor of this episode, Incogni. If you've ever watched one of these interactions and thought, man, I don't want random people knowing where I live, here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of the time, they already can. Not because you posted it, but because there are entire businesses that vacuum up your name, address, phone number, email, relatives, and other details, then publish and sell it through people search sites and data broker databases. That's why I use Incogni. It's a hands-off service that goes after these companies on your behalf and gets your info removed. You create an account, share the minimum info needed to find your profiles, give a one-time authorization, and Incogni handles the removal requests and the follow-ups. And the feature I really like is custom removals, which comes with their unlimited plan. If you find a specific page exposing your info that isn't part of their automated network, you can drop the link into your dashboard, and a dedicated privacy expert will work on getting it taken down if it's eligible. Incogni is also the first and only personal data removal service to be independently verified by Deloitte, which matters in a space that's full of sketchy promises and shifty businesses. Right now, Incogni is offering members of the ATA community a 60% discount on an annual plan when you use code THEAUDIT at the link below. Data doesn't just disappear on its own. If you don't take it back, someone else will. Thanks again to Incogni for sponsoring today's episode.
Correct. It's an arrestable offense in the state of Texas, sir. Anything illegal on you need to know about? It's a felony to bring it to the jail, okay?
You want to put your headphones in the car? Yes. Take it off. And roll my window up and walk my vehicle. Your car's going to get towed.
All right. Let's walk this way. All right, stand right here for a second. Spread your feet.
Correct. You can't stand in my way. Really hoping you find something, but you won't.
We'll check everybody before we go in the car, man. Do you want this with you, or do you want this in the car?
Actually, I didn't give you permission to search, but yeah.
Okay, well, I'm searching the incident to arrest. Okay. Hey, Travis. Travis. Hey, the jail's not going to take this. We're going to leave it in your car, okay? Spread your feet. Spread your feet. I mean, if you bring it with you, they're just going to throw it away at the jail, so it's up to you. This way?
We're going to leave it right now until you get you in the car.
We grab my phone as well. We'll grab it for you. Alright, take a seat.
After placing Travis in the back of the patrol car, the officers mute their body cams and decide to search Travis's vehicle. Now, in general, for an officer to conduct a search, they must either obtain a warrant or satisfy certain criteria for an exception to the warrant requirement. While a search incident to an arrest is typically regarded as an acceptable exception to the warrant requirement, the scope of such a search is limited. In the 2009 case of Arizona versus Gant, the Supreme Court held that officers may search a vehicle incident to a recent occupant's arrest only when the arrestee is unsecured and within reaching distance of the passenger compartment at the time of the search, or when it is reasonable to believe that the vehicle contains evidence of the offense of arrest. Once Travis was handcuffed and placed in the patrol car, he was no longer within reaching distance of the passenger compartment, which eliminated the officer safety and evidence destruction rationale that originally justified searches incident to arrest. More importantly, a traffic control device violation is generally proven by the officer's observation of the driving conduct and the existence of the traffic control device itself, which means there is rarely a reason to believe that a citizen's vehicle contains evidence of that particular offense. When the offense of arrest does not generate discoverable evidence inside the car and the arrestee cannot access the passenger compartment, then the Gant ruling treats the search as unreasonable, unless another exception to the warrant requirement applies. The only other warrant exception that could conceivably apply to this encounter is a so-called inventory search due to the fact that Officer Victorious intended to have Travis's car towed. Inventory searches are viewed differently from investigative searches because they are justified as a caretaking function designed to protect property, protect officers from claims, and address safety concerns. In the 1976 Supreme Court case of South Dakota versus Opperman, the Supreme Court held that not only are inventory searches themselves considered constitutional, but any illegal items found during a lawful inventory search are not subject to constitutional protection. However, in the 1990 case of Florida versus Wells, the court made clear that an inventory search cannot be untethered from policy, particularly when it comes to opening closed containers, because the absence of meaningful standards turns the inventory into an exercise of pure discretion. As shown in the body cam footage, the officers entered areas of the vehicle that were not within Travis's immediate control, including the back seat and floorboard, but did not remove any items from the vehicle or appear to inventory anything inside the vehicle. The tow receipt from the police department does not note any itemized list of anything that was inventoried from the vehicle, and it ambiguously reads, and I'm quoting here, "Item all over." It is unclear which Fourth Amendment exception, if any, the officers assumed that they were operating under, but it does not appear as though they would qualify for the exceptions that would typically apply to the facts of this encounter. After completing the search with their body cams muted the entire time, Officer Victorious returns to the patrol car to speak to Travis.
Hey, your phone fell on the side, so we have to find it, okay? I stopped the video camera for you so it wasn't recording the whole time, but everything's recorded.
You didn't find my keys?
Well, so, okay, so...
Searching my vehicle.
You want me to finish? You want to talk? All right, cool. So we're grabbing the keys right now. We're going to leave your car key, though, because if we keep the car key with you, they're going to charge you extra for the tow. So we're going to leave your car key with them. All your other keys are going to come with you. Okay? Sorry, sir?
You gonna roll up the window?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're gonna close all that up before they tow it.
Well...
Thank you, sir.
You know, you didn't have AC really going?
Yes, sir.
You left me in a hot vehicle. Texas.
You feel it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
I'll turn it up.
Travis was transported to jail where he was initially booked for disregarding a traffic control device. In his official report, Officer Victorious neglected to clarify what exactly led to Travis's arrest, and the report simply reads, "Travis was placed under arrest for disregarding a traffic control device. After completing the booking process and spending just over 2 hours in jail, the supervisor on shift, Sergeant Boyd, reviewed the body camera footage of the arrest and determined that the arrest was invalid. Sergeant Boyd immediately requested to have the charges against Travis dropped, released him from the jail, and then returned his property."
Hey, they dropped all charges and released me because obviously nothing is actual on camera. I'm sitting here with Sergeant Boyd. I'm outside.
Okay.
You can pick up your car tonight between 9 and 9:30 p.m.
Okay.
If you don't make it there by 9:30, they won't have anyone there to
Okay.
release it to you. Otherwise, 8 to 5 tomorrow. Okay?
Okay.
Answer that question.
Where did you come from?
I'm a patrol supervisor, so I have to review every time an officer makes an arrest. They send a report and I review it. And in this case, I didn't felt like there was an offense, so that's why we cops aren't perfect, and I know you don't.
He followed me with every intention of arresting me.
I don't want to make any excuses for you because at the end of the day, I agree that we messed up. So, but cops aren't perfect. That's why we have checks and balances. That's why a supervisor has to review the stuff.
Why we have civil rights.
I agree.
After being released from jail, Travis, along with Sergeant Boyd, waited in the jail parking lot for Travis's ride, and he left the scene without further incident. It was later learned that Officer Victorious added a supplement to his report explicitly noting that Travis's action did not constitute a violation of the Texas Traffic Code, and that a citation dismissal form would be completed. Following the encounter, Travis submitted a public records request for the body and dash camera footage of the incident, and went on to file a pro se lawsuit against the city of North Richland Hills, the North Richland Hills Police Department, the North Richland Hills Jail, and officers Victorious and Burks. The lawsuit was filed just over a month after the interaction occurred, and it includes allegations of unlawful seizure, false arrest, false imprisonment, denial of medical care, and several other constitutional and statutory violations. As of the date of writing this episode, Travis's lawsuit remains pending. Overall, Officer Victorious gets an F for effectuating a totally unnecessary and clearly retaliatory arrest, for demonstrating fundamental misunderstandings regarding department policy and Texas law, and for maintaining a condescending and punitive attitude throughout the encounter. It is glaringly obvious that this traffic stop should have ended with a citation and release. And Officer Victorious effectuated what could arguably be reduced to a retaliatory arrest. Travis's request for the officer's name and badge number was a basic accountability question, and Officer Victorious reacted as though it was a challenge that needed to be shut down, and his condescending demeanor was repeatedly on display in how he spoke to Travis, including his fixation on control language about Travis not being free to leave, and his willingness to threaten additional charges if Travis attempted to end the encounter on his own terms. The net effect was an encounter that felt less like traffic enforcement and more like punishment for a citizen who was recording and refusing to be deferential. The arrest decision was the point where Officer Victorious's judgment became indefensible. As discussed earlier in the video, Texas law can authorize a warrantless arrest for certain traffic offenses committed in an officer's presence, and the Fourth Amendment does not categorically prohibit a custodial arrest for a fine-only offense when probable cause exists. That technical authority does not excuse using the most intrusive option available when there was no apparent investigatory objective, no safety issue, and no need to take Travis into custody to resolve the alleged offense. The legal framework discussed earlier also emphasized that Texas traffic enforcement is generally structured around a notice to appear process for routine misdemeanors, and the department's own policy discouraged custodial arrests for Class C misdemeanor conduct when no greater legal objective existed. Nothing in the video suggested that any greater objective existed here, and Officer Victorious's insistence on a custodial arrest read like retaliation for Travis's tone, not an enforcement decision shaped by necessity. Furthermore, after Travis was handcuffed and secured in the patrol car, Officer Victorious and Officer Burks muted their body cameras and proceeded with a vehicle search. As discussed earlier in the video, Arizona versus Gant limits vehicle searches incident to arrest once the arrestee is secured and there's no reasonable basis to believe that the car contains evidence of the offense of arrest. And a traffic control device violation is typically proven through the officer's observation of driving conduct and roadway markings. The search activity shown on camera did not resemble a standardized inventory process, as the officers entered areas of the vehicle without any visible effort to document or catalog property consistent with a caretaking inventory function. It is important to note that this was an instance where the department's own accountability mechanisms served their purpose and acted quickly to resolve the issue. Now, while this fact by no means excuses what happened to Travis, it does show a level of accountability and urgency that is not typical of other departments. departments. Nonetheless, this interaction highlights how quickly discretionary authority can become an abuse of authority when an officer treats a citizen's attitude and recording as justification to escalate, instead of grounding enforcement decisions in legitimate objectives and measured professionalism. Now, as for Travis, he gets an A-, because although he could have invoked his right to silence more tactfully, he remained calm and collected throughout the encounter, complied with the orders of the officers despite believing the arrest to be unlawful, and followed up this encounter with the proper legal action. Travis maintained his composure and remained nonviolent while being subjected to an arrest that he believed was unjustified, and he did so even after it became blatantly obvious that the officers were not interested in resolving the encounter through the least intrusive means available. He repeatedly asked clarifying questions about whether he was free to go. He disputed the basis for the stop and the arrest verbally rather than physically, and he complied with instructions during the arrest and transport despite expressing that he viewed the situation as retaliatory. The primary issue with Travis's conduct was not his demeanor, but his decision to argue legal principles in real time with an officer who was already exercising control in a punitive way. It is also important to note that several of his assertions about legal standards were inaccurate, including the notion that the officer had a fixed time window to complete the stop, and the suggestion that a detention concept only applies at the arrest stage. Those kinds of claims very rarely improve a driver's legal standing in the moment, and they tend to expand the conversation in a way that gives an irritated officer more openings to prolong the encounter, escalate the tone, or justify additional steps that would not have occurred if the driver had kept the exchange minimal. Travis spoke too often and missed the simplest and most practical constitutional protection available to him, which was to invoke his right to remain silent once he had clearly communicated that he disagreed with the officer's actions. He did not need to persuade Officer Victorious on the roadside, and continuing to banter after the decision to arrest had already been made served no practical purpose. That said, Travis still did what most citizens do not do after a bad encounter. He obtained and released the footage and pursued accountability through formal legal channels, rather than pursuing accountability through a roadside win. This interaction highlights how a citizen can preserve their safety and credibility through calm compliance and proper follow-up, while still improving their position by avoiding roadside legal debates and relying more heavily on disciplined silence. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out Audit the Court if you're interested in learning about the legal nuance beyond the body cam.